Right. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Hello, we're nerds. Welcome to our live chat. Just had to double check that I was hosting it. Thank you so much for being here today. We are doing a bit of a read-in today because we talked a very big talk about reading a book and a script for a book club, and then all of us thought
nowhere.
All of us thought a script that will take one day to read, and so we didn't look for it until last week, and don't know where it is, but it's not on the internet. So we're going to talk briefly about the Willoughbys book. I think Kelly and I are the only ones who read it.
I didn't finish it. But...
Oh, I finished it today. It was cute. But we'll talk briefly about that.
You had quite the weekend.
I did have quite the weekend. Well, it's a 1-hour audiobook on triple speed.
Still, you like
triple speed.
All of Bridgerton, finished a book, Willoughbys.
Wow.
Yes. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. We'll do reading sprints where we will set 15 to 20 minutes at a time to read our books. And it's just, generally a good time to read among friends, to have some time set aside that you can be like, oh no, I'm in a meeting. I have to go read this book. So if you need that excuse, you're also welcome to use the sprints for productivity or anything else you might need. So what is everyone reading tonight?
I am listening to the audiobook of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Nice.
It's narrated by someone famous, but I've forgotten who it is now.
Yeah.
Like Stephen Fry or something.
I think it's Stephen Fry.
Sounds like a likely bet.
Yeah.
I'm reading The Dating Plan by Sarah Desai.
Nice.
I'm reading Blood Scion by Deborah Falley.
Nice.
I'm like a chapter in, and I was like, whoa. So I was like, all right, with this number one, gotta keep going with it.
Yes. I'm reading Delilah Green Doesn't Care.
I'm reading that
too.
It's so good.
I just bought it today, so I'm very excited. It looks so good. And then I saw on Goodreads that other people were reading it. I was like, gotta pick that one up.
I finished it in
my
like
nighttime
2
Kindle
days.
book right
It's
now.
so great.
So yes, I'm very excited for that. I guess let us know in the discussion section. Since it's a read-in, we don't have prompts for reading, because what would I prompt you to do while we're reading? So I have some questions planned for kind of like in each talking session.
Great.
when we're breaking reading, and before we get started, I have questions for the audience. So your question to kick it off is, what are you reading tonight? Let us know. And yeah, Kelly, what did you think of the Willoughbys book?
I wish I'd read it before seeing the movie, because the movie set a certain tone in my head that the book didn't quite read. Like, I had Snapchatted Megan of like, these people aren't made out of yarn. What is this? And yeah, I found Timothy difficult to read.
Yeah, Timothy was less difficult at triple speed. But I thought that what's the commander guy's name? The Candyman.
The guy voiced by Terry Crews.
Yeah, hang on, let me Google it really quick. I've already forgotten everyone's name. It's Commander M something. Willoughbys cast. Commander Melanoff, I believe. It's not giving me his whole name. Commander Melanoff. He was pretty different in the book. He's like a widower because his wife and son went missing on a Swiss mountain that is like notorious for having just icy mounds of people who try to summit it. And that was the only reference in the whole book to that mountain, was just that the wife and son were lost on that mountain. And then, spoilers, you find out later that they didn't die there. They've just been vibing. She marries a postman. But yeah, I thought it was really funny. at the very, very end, you find out that like Commander Melanoff's name is also Barnaby, and his son comes and finds him, and his son is also named Barnaby. So there were 4 Barnabys by the end of the book. Yeah, I just thought it was pretty fun. I liked the absurdity of some of the jokes. The nanny was way better in the movie. She was like fine in the book, but
yeah, I did like the tone of the book, and it's like the right note for middle grade for me. I was expecting something a little different having seen the movie first.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and the Barnabys, they changed their names so that they have 1-syllable names like Jane at the end.
Oh, that makes me feel a little vindicated.
Yeah. And Griswold said, I just finished. I thought the book was hilarious. I gave it 4 stars. Me too. I still need to put it on my Goodreads. That way it counts for my Goodreads challenge. So let us know if anyone else has read the Willoughbys. That was our book club pick. And Griswold said, I thought Tim was bossy in the movie, and I don't judge the oldest for being bossy. That's their role. But in the book, I thought he was pretty mean. He was.
Yeah. And setting it so that like Jane's the
and
youngest, and then so all of a sudden the boys are just ganging up on their little sister. It just didn't have the same like, air of we're a family, we're in this together. It's us against the parents. It's just like, no.
Yeah. And the parents were worse in the movie, I think. Like they were meaner in the movie. They didn't get mean until after they left town in the book. Not super mean, at least. Yeah, it was really fun. Maybe at the 45, we'll jump into our first reading sprint.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah. We've got Emmy is here reading Gallant. Love the illustrations.
Oh, bring back illustrations in books 2022. Like, oh my gosh, I want to buy that art so badly. It's so beautiful. It also looks like Nicole is reading Vladimir by Julia May Jonas.
Yes.
I the only thing I know about that one is like it's a cover with like a half-naked man on it, and people are like scandalized. Yeah. That apparently has like nothing to do with it's not like not a romance novel. It's like
it's not. I just assumed it was.
No, it's like intrigue and mystery. Like I think I don't know. They'll have to let us know.
We've got Missy Kate is also here rereading some of my own works in progress prior to Camp Nano, deciding what to work on. And Griswold is reading Beneath the Stairs by Jennifer Fawcett.
Apparently it's a haunted house related book. I'm looking that one up now.
Oh, hold on a minute. And Griswold said Gallant was great. Oh, and with that, it is the 45. So we're going to start our sprint. Let's start with 15 minutes. Just mix things up. So we'll check in at the hour. time. Welcome if you joined us during that moment of silence. We are having a read-in tonight. It's kind of like a write-in, except we're all reading books. And yeah, it's a cozy evening with all of your favorite virtual friends. And I've got questions to like prompt conversation in between all of the sprints. So the question for this one is, how is your reading goal going this year? Like if you're doing it through Goodreads, how close are you to meeting your Goodreads goal right now?
It's going so much better than I thought it would.
Yay!
Mine, I'm a bit behind. I went through a really big reading slump in February, so I am trying to make up for lost time now.
I cut my reading goal in half last week. I was like, you know what? We're not hitting 100. We shouldn't fool ourselves into thinking we're ever doing that again. So I'm on track now that I've done that.
I'm 4 books ahead, which is a nice place to be.
That's your goal?
My goal is 65, and I've read 19 books.
Nice.
It's been a good reading year so far, I think.
Yeah, you've read a lot of books this year, right, Kelly?
27.
Dang.
This year is your year.
Yes.
I've seen some of my mutuals on TikTok who have read like 90 books already, and I'm like, how? What is your secret? Do you have a job? Like, do you sleep? How is that possible?
Do you have like depression? Because that's why I read as many books as I read last year.
Oh, for sure. That like mental illness is the top factor in that. But like,
yeah, the only time I hit 100 was when like I could read at my job. And I had a long commute, so I listened to audiobooks in my commute too.
Yeah, audiobooks, and then I did a lot of childcare for my niece and nephew in January and February. So I just kind of always had something on in the background while I was doing boring things.
Yeah,
which was nice.
Yeah, I've wow, nope, head empty, no thoughts. Sorry.
I like books.
I like graphic novels and stuff too. Yeah. They go quicker.
Oh, that's what I remember thinking. It was this semester has been like it's my last semester, but it's like really, really intense. So I also have not had as much time to work on stuff. And like any downtime I've had at work, I'm like, time to work on this project for school. So yeah, it's kind of tanked. And I've also discovered more podcasts. So that's my go-to right now.
You'll have room to maybe, if you want to catch up, do so once you're not trying to do work and school.
Yeah.
Misty Kate said, I put a ton of books on my Kindle, but I've mostly been reading fan fiction. I wish that Goodreads would let you check something that's like, I read something that was book length.
Just believe me.
Yes, just add one.
Like when I'm beta reading other people's books. It's like, it's a book. I read a book.
Well, okay, so this is a long time ago, so I don't know if Goodreads is like updated or like not allowed you to do something. But back like in my Wattpad days, which was like 6 years ago or more, I had I had a book that I wrote on Goodreads. Because I remember someone rated it, and I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And so, like, can you just?
I didn't ask to be judged.
Yeah, but I didn't add this. So
I think occasionally someone will like add like a Wattpad story or something to Goodreads, but a lot of times it gets taken down.
Okay, I don't know if it's still up. So
yeah,
I have no idea. Maybe I should check that.
Wattpad stories were on Goodreads at one point.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just. So, like, can you just add anything? I think it would be useful to be like, I read, this fan fiction.
What I tend to do is, like, if I beta read something, I'll, like, let myself read a kid's book, like a picture book or something that I wanted to read, and then, have an excuse to read it, and then I count that.
That's what I was going to say. Like, count something you wouldn't normally count. Yeah.
Smart. Well, I guess we'll jump into our next sprint at the 5. Read for 20 minutes. And then we'll check back in. Emmy said, I'm 5 ahead of my reading goal. Been listening to audiobooks while drawing for school. And Griswold said, I made my goal smaller this year, so I'm at 30% of my goal. That's still a lot of books, because if I recall, you read like 200 books last year. And Nicole shared some of the plot of Vladimir. Thank you for sharing that. Tracy Nicole just finished reading White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson and is now starting The Story Collector by Evie Gone.
Look that up.
And with that, it's time. We're going to read for 20 more minutes and then check back in and chat a little bit more. Let us know in between if there's anything you want us to discuss that's bookish. Otherwise, we're just going to keep doing our thing. and time. How'd that one go for everyone?
Pretty good.
Good.
They arrived at a city where there's floating statues of their gods, and I'm like, that's cool as hell. Hell yeah. Like, whoa.
In my book, we just had the meet cute, which is like,
yeah,
they kind of already knew each other, but I've been really liking a meet cute where it's not like an instant disaster and they instantly like dislike each other. I feel like that's done a lot because you don't want them to like each other too fast. But it's like there's some misunderstandings and some like history with them, but it's not an instant like, oh, I'm mad at you, which is refreshing.
I ended up looking this up during that sprint. Book 2 of that series actually comes out in November, which is awesome because this one like just came out. So
in this one?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize there was a book 2.
I have a sense that the trio is going to be.
Oh, good point.
Like Claire and Iris. Yeah. Nice.
Yes, good. I can't wait.
No, I love a romance series that bops around the friend group.
Well, I really like Ashley Herring Blake. I like her YA stuff, and this is her, I guess, adult debut. So I'm like,
oh, cool. Yeah. I just remember seeing the cover on Twitter and being like, I want to read that.
Yeah.
It looks like something I would be interested in.
I saw someone made a TikTok basically about how Delilah Green was their perfect woman. And then just was like, oh, and by the way, this is a book.
I mean, if Delilah Green like turned her charms on me, I would not be able to refuse either.
We should recommend this book to Erin. Delilah is basically like one of the members of the love interests in any one of Erin's books. So
agreed.
She would love it. And we will slowly persuade her to read more romance novels.
Yeah.
All right. So if you joined us during that one, welcome. It's a read-in. We're reading books. I don't think anyone new has joined us because same number. That's like 20 minutes ago. But welcome. We're so happy you're here. We're going to do one last reading sprint for the evening. But in the meantime, while we take a little break, chat a little, I want, if people want to, share a book that's on their TBR that they're like looking forward to reading soon.
Oh, so many. I actually just, oh no, wait. I don't remember what it's called. I'll be right back.
I'm like pulling out my Libby app. I thought of these questions hours ago and I didn't think of my own answer.
I really want to read the second book in
no one has the brain cell tonight.
5th season one was that?
The N.K. Jemisin series.
Yeah.
Obelisk Gate is the second one.
Yeah.
My hold just came in for the audiobook at my library, so I'm excited for that too.
I ordered a book and it just showed up at my door, so I'm excited to read this one. And that is 1,000 Steps into Night by Tracy Chee.
Oh, that looks cool.
Ooh.
It's like girl who gets cursed to turn into a demon tries not to do that. And then also
I like the reader
and like the cover and like the
so
art
pretty.
on the back is it's so beautiful. And it seems really cool. So yeah, and I don't think I was there for that one, but I remember Word Nerds did book club for the reader like a couple years ago.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Oh, I've got a hold on the roughest draft.
I was about to say that one.
There's so many good books coming out right now about writers.
Yes, and I love like for anyone who doesn't know, it's about two people who I think they used to co-write books together and then they had a falling out. And now they like have to work together again. And it's co-written. The book itself is co-written by a married couple. So
Oh my gosh, I love that. Oh no, I'm gonna have to get that one too.
I still have like 10 weeks left on my library hold, so hopefully the library buys another copy. Because I want to read it so badly.
I'm looking up the book, and Griswold just recommended.
The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich is what Anne Griswold recommended. Now I'm also looking it up. Perfect for book clubs, according to Marie Claire.
We've got one of those.
Oh, I do love that cover.
Mostly for the cover, I'm really excited for The Bone Orchard by Sarah A. Mueller.
Ooh, yes.
It's got a really cool cover.
Yeah, that one seems right up my alley. I was like, ooh, bone magic, hell yeah, I'm in.
Bone magic plus like growing things. Yes.
Yeah. And like murder mystery.
Nicole.
A Far Wilder Magic by Alison Sapp.
That's on my TBR too. Yeah.
I had a couple friends finish it and they say it's amazing. I'm like, okay. Guess I'll read it.
Nicole's got When We Lost Our Heads by Heather O'Neill on their TBR. Said historical fiction, which isn't my usual genre, but excited.
Well, Megan, you're going to need to read something after you finish Bridgerton.
I know. I tried reading the Bridgerton books, and I need to just bop around a little because I don't like Daphne. It was brutal starting there.
Yeah, I started with that one after season 1, and I like read the beginning and then kind of like skimmed through a little bit of it, and then was like, okay, cool, I'm moving on to book 2. I was like, it's similar enough to the show that like I'm not going to be lost if I just skip to the next book. And read the rest of them.
And yes, Missy Kate, that book is called The Roughest Draft. I also I got to a point in the book, one of the girlies has a dead dad. I love that in a book. It's like an auto guarantee that I'm going to finish it.
Thank God.
Because we've got trauma, so we might as well leverage it. Well, I guess we will jump into our last reading sprint of the night at the 35, so in 2 minutes, and do a little 10-minute cool down reading sprint, and then we will wrap things up. Be sure to let us know in the discussion section if you've got any other books you think should be on our radars. And yeah, got like a minute and a half.
And The Measure does sound awesome. I will definitely be looking into that.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, adding all the things to my TBR.
Yeah,
that's why I need like one solid reading year. I have so much catching up to do from a couple of like meh reading years. There's so many books.
It truly feels like this year I've started bumping into like I've read almost all of the books that are easily accessible to me, and so now it's like I'm having to like look for new ones and try new things, and it's exciting and also terrifying.
That is exciting though, like get through the backlog.
Yeah, it is really nice. I did, though, in a moment of desperation, read a romance novel by an author I had already read one of, and I hated that one. And I was like, well, maybe it was just a bad book. It wasn't. It wasn't bad. It was not for me.
It's not an author you vibe with.
Yeah. It was a very popular author who vibes with a lot of people. So obviously they're very good at what they do for their audience. Just going through these comments here.
Mood.
Yeah, same. Big same.
I had like a whole tea before this, and I was like, "Be so good," and now I'm like ready to go to bed.
Oh, and with that, it's time. We will read for 10 more minutes and then check in and wrap things up. Time.
We finished a chapter, so I started looking at just listed of Oscar winners. Looks like Dune is going to make it a very boring ceremony to watch.
Mm-hmm. All right. Just trying to think if there's anything. What's our chat next week?
I meant to look up the April schedule.
We have them all planned in advance, but not up here.
Well, you guys look that up. Misty Kate Misty Kate asked what my book was called. It is Blood Scion by Deborah Fale. It's out now. I'm like, it's March. It's fully the end of March, and it came out in March. So
I think she may have been asking about the book on your TBR that you're looking forward to.
Oh, that one is 1,000 Steps into Night by Tracy Chi.
Next week is a write-in. So
followed by April 10th. Something.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you will join us next week for more productivity. If you don't have something you want to work on, you could just read some more. This was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love when we do these because I almost never sit down to read a book. It's always audiobooks always have to be moving and doing things.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really nice to just be still and read.
Since I'm looking at the schedule, I just want to preface this that April 24th is going to be game night, and it is a baking challenge. Megan is going to be walking us through baking something. So whoever shows up will just be set up in their kitchens trying to bake things.
Yes, I will try to. I've been thinking a lot about what is the perfect thing to make. I think I know what I want to do because it's going to be walk people through baking it, and then we'll bake it, and I will judge you all. Like the benevolent God that I am. But yeah, so I'll be sure to let everyone know at least a couple weeks in advance. That way people can prepare if they also want to follow along at home. And that's going to be a lot of fun.
Is it going to be a 3-hour live chat while we wait for stuff?
I'm trying to pick something that either you could prep beforehand and we could do just a part of, or that will not take long at all to do. That way we're not on all night long.
All right, so we get some of the Pillsbury Doughboy pre-made cookie mix, and then you cut it up, and then 10 minutes in the oven, and we're good to go.
So yeah, join us next week for a write-in. Please like and subscribe if you like us and want to be subscribed to our content. Thank you so much for being here, everyone, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.